There once was a boy who grew up in a house of doubt. He couldn't tell you family history, but drugs and alcohol is what he could tell you about. Cashed welfare checks and a can of cranberries were all he had in his cupboards. And the irony in that is that he'd carry the world for you and then ask you if you wanted anything more. All he knew was abuse and being poor, so he did not understand why all the kids made fun of him for coming to school lunchless with nothing but cuts and bruises. He never cried at school because he knew he had to save the tears for when he gets home. The bullies and teasing never really bothered him because he knew it would be worse when he got home. When you never want to be home and you never want to be alone, then where do you go? What are you supposed to do when pain, poorness, and coping are all that you know? She was a little bit different, just a little bit unique, just a little bit queer to the cruel teens of the media mainstream. It wasn't her fault that she thought this way. It just simply was. With the constant fear of coming out to her parents and the constant tears from being called out by her peers, she didn't have the time to just sit down and tell herself that it's okay to be this way. The thought process of someone confined in the closet is terrifyingly all too similar to a Semitic stowed away from the Nazis. There's something all too scary about admitting you're the latest name being called out on the playground. Her teachers couldn't understand why the only thing in her notebooks were the words, "They just don't understand." She wrote novels on her skin with a blade, telling herself that it'll get better one day. She told herself the ignorance could only last so long. But someday never came. So she took a bottle of Daddy's pills and she decided to play a game. He was 16 and as careful as can be when it came to taking his Atropine. Growing up on Ritalin and Adderall, it's no wonder drugs became his favorite thing after all. Juggling between Prozac and Zoloft, weed and cocaine had to become his favorite pastime. It's not his fault that it's the only thing that could keep him off the verge of breaking. I guess self-medicating is better than putting a noose around your neck. It's probably the easiest thing to do after your own mother tells you to drop dead. She should know better is what he screams to himself. After all, his dad did kill himself. Last May 14th to the day, he told his wife and son that he couldn't stay. But he remembers. It's the only thought and memory that can keep him off the chair himself. No wonder Hangman was his favorite game as a kid. Thanks to the pills, it's no wonder that he can't remember half his childhood. And now, thanks to a widow-burdened, abusive mother, it's no wonder he resents everything his father and the bonding of family taught him. But there's one thing that all three of these people learned. That is, that them and everyone else are only human. They learned that it does get better one day. The poor will become wealthy at heart. The different will find others that accept them, and together they will prove the so-called perfect wrong. The misguided will find hope. And this time it won't be at the bottom of a pill bottle and it won't be at the end of a white line. So find something. Find your calling. Find the future where your present imperfections become the key visualization to what you call the perfect definition of perfection. You don't have to find yourself. Just be you.